Good evening and welcome back to The Wicked Wild during our Camp Wicked Wild coverage of spooky season in October. I'm glad to have you back. And this week on Camp Wicked Wild, as you may have figured out from the open, we are doing water sports. We're going to spend some time in the water and we are looking forward to that. And we have a movie that I would call Abercrombie and Fish of shark movies. It's just
Oh my God.
so many pretty people. They're just so pretty. So, good evening to my hosts. We've got Eli up front. So, have you ever been invited to, a college friend's multi-million dollar private island? It seems like it was a pretty normal thing that happened to these kids.
No, I have not. The only thing I was ever invited to in college was someone was like, "Oh, my parents have a cabin in the local state like forest area." And I was like, "Oh, that'd be kind of cool." And when I got there, it wasn't a cabin. They like converted like a couple sheds. And it was gross. And I we drank gin and I somehow climbed a tree and then I threw up on some poor soul.
Was there a Necronomicon in this cabin? It
They're
seems like that was
probably
more of that story.
they're probably buried underneath the floorboards there because I remember at one point, like when I woke up in the morning, which I didn't realize the night before in my sober state, half the floor was somehow buried in the mud, and so like I woke up to I woke up, not feeling great, looking at my arm and thinking, oh my God, like did I crawl through a shit pile? Like what's going on? Then I realized, oh no, I'm just laying in mud inside this shed.
As you do.
As you do.
And then we've got Jamie up in New York. And I have a question for you. I don't know if it crossed your mind. I'm weird like this, and I just got new ink, so I guess I was still sensitive. But did you see the young lady in this movie who got a fresh tattoo and immediately went to go swimming in an open lake? That just seems
Immediately
like,
did what you're not supposed to do after
I
you
was
get
going to
as
say, isn't that a
anybody
bad
who gets
idea?
a tattoo. I that scene is on my list of things that I hate, but yeah, that tattoo right out into tanning, not
bold
supposed
move.
to do. Water, not supposed to do. Like open water, not supposed to. Yeah,
She's just going to have a
that
really
thing's
nice
diseased. But you know what? It
rash
doesn't
on her
even matter.
ass.
It doesn't even matter by the end of this
Exactly.
movie.
It's true. It was the least of her problems, but still, it was a
Yeah.
bad idea. Then we got John up in Detroit. How's it going, John?
It's going. I can't wait to talk about sharks.
So we're going to be talking about your people tonight, and so I wanted to ask you as an expert, why is everybody in this friggin' movie so pretty? I mean, these are your
Oh, the-
people. These are the
How,
pretty
how are
people.
these my people? If anybody's actually watched this video, you can clearly tell I'm not one of the pretty ones.
They're
But
every jawline was cut out of granite.
oh my gosh, I just recently discovered my jawline, so I can't claim that I was ever this pretty.
Wait, I just want to make sure we're including the dude from Hatchet in these comments and Grandma's Boy. Like we're including him in these comments about
JP.
beautiful people.
Yeah, yeah, JP, he's pretty in his own way. He's unique.
He wasn't dressed for the Matrix in this one for once, so I guess that was cool.
I guess
He
it's just been a
somehow
long
was the-
time.
He was so miscast. How is he a frat guy? I have no idea.
He's the guy that frats trick into being their friends to do their homework. That's what he was.
Apparently, that's Ted from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah,
Somehow. And
Yeah.
anybody want to talk about? We'll talk about the streaming video game playing whatever that video camera setup. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But yes, I can't wait to talk about this. But I know we have one more person we need to talk to.
we do. We have our special guest this evening for Camp Wicked Wild, and it is our own Mary. Mary is back on the Wicked Wild. She came to hang out with us one night for spooky season. We're excited to have you. Hi, Mary.
Hi, thank you guys for having me back. I've missed you very much.
Yes, we've missed you, and your husband's been out of control ever since you left. So.
I know. I'm
Wait,
so
what?
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Are you talking
I
about the
tried.
Mole King that way? How
Exactly.
dare you?
This has been our life, Mary. This has been our
I'm
life.
so sorry.
And
I try
How
to control him,
lucky
but I
are
can't.
all of you for it? I'm going to defend myself right now. How lucky are all of you for it?
We're so lucky.
Define luck.
Who else here's going to know what to do if they run into the woods and see Bigfoot? Nobody. Well, everybody now, thanks to this guy.
Eli, I'm here to talk about sharks, so just simmer down.
Bigfoot's a shark of the woods.
He's a woodland shark.
Yeah, he's a woodland shark.
That was
Everybody
not
knows
one
that.
of the facts that you gave us.
That's for part 2.
Oh, okay.
We have
So
Bigfoot Part 2 coming.
There's always a part 2 coming. That's what she said.
So as we always do, we're going to open up with one of our on-the-fly synopses. This is where I'm going to call out one of our hosts who doesn't know which one I'm going to call out yet, to give a quick synopsis on the movie. By the way, the movie we're watching tonight, which it was in the title of the podcast, is Shark Night from 2011. Shark Night 3D, I think, is the official.
It is, yeah.
But we're going to get into that. So with our special guest, Mary, I'm going to ask her, because it's pertinent to this movie, what her favorite 80s hair metal band is. Is it Poison?
Sorry.
Or is it, what was the other one that he talked about? Oh, shoot. I had it up here. Was it?
Well, Guns N' Roses comes up.
Poison, Guns N' Roses, and Motley Crue. Which one of those is your favorite?
Probably Guns N' Roses.
All right. Well, Eli, as our Guns N' Roses, give us
I think
a
it's
synopsis
the
on this
first
movie.
week you've done this that I actually feel is a compliment.
I hope I was Poison, because if you don't know, my mom's obsessed.
Oh, really?
So,
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, my mom's obsessed with.
We're gonna have to have that conversation sometime.
Was she listening to Poison in the bowling alley of the abandoned mental institution, hearing people scream and smelling pee?
No,
Stories
they weren't
coming
even
together.
around then. Eli, 80s.
Well, I didn't know. I'm still waiting for some answers about that story. But yeah, I can summarize this. A group of friends go to what I can only describe as one of Jeff Bezos' properties on a lake, which I think was more of a swamp, but I digress. And they're looking to have a good time when all of a sudden, as they're swimming and having their fun water times, they're attacked by sharks in this swamp lake. And they have to try to figure out, as one of their friends get hurt, how to escape Shark Island, and shenanigans ensue.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Sorry, my West Virginia came out there for a minute.
I also I know I have, and now I know Eli has, and I'm not sure if John has, but that instead of getting any further, we just say either chaos ensues, shenanigans ensues, madness ensues, anything ensues instead of keep going.
Or the new one, shenanigans. How did I say that, Mary?
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
You don't want to
That's
get confused with shenanigans.
Who is she?
that's West Virginia. That's short. West Virginia short for shenanigans. Shenanigans.
That's when you don't have time for full shenanigans, but you still want to mess around. So
Yeah,
you do
they were being
shenanigans.
attacked by sharks, right? They didn't have time for full shenanigans. They can only do shenanigans. Okay. You're welcome, everybody. Hashtag shenanigans.
Wow.
Well, tonight we're going to let Jamie start off. Is this your first watch of this? Have you seen it before? What's your experience with this movie?
There was a period of time where I decided, because those who know me, which is everybody on this podcast, knows that sharks are my second favorite animal. You may not have known second, but and when I say second favorite, it's that most people don't even know number one, and everybody equates me with sharks. So there's a period of time where I decided I was going through all the streaming shark movies that I had not seen, and that was the first time I saw this. Now we're going years ago, so early, kind of. I don't want to say early streaming, but when there were less of these services, so they were more in one place. There was a lot on Netflix and a lot on, let's just say, Prime, I guess, whatever. I quickly realized that is that task just ends up with a lot of shit, and I've stopped. I've stopped doing that.
Yeah,
This
the
is
bell
one of those
curve's pretty
movies-
steep.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that I saw at that point. That was the first time I saw it. Unfortunately, at this point in my life, I've seen this movie more times than I would like to, and I hope this is the last time I ever have to watch this movie. I can't say anything good about this movie. In fact, the opening scene just insults me, and that is just a copy of Jaws, and the fact that they even had the audacity to think that they could do that. I don't care if it's homage. I don't care what it is. You're not doing that and then giving me the rest of Shark Night 3D after following that. We'll talk about the movie. It's just stupidity after stupidity after stupidity. It's also PG-13, which I'm not even trying to be that person, but I don't know. Shark movies, like, probably just make them all R, unless you don't have the budget to pull off the effects or the gore or the kills or whatever. But like, just make them all R and not PG-13, and don't take half this shit off screen. I don't know. I have nothing to say besides it was nice to see the guy from Hatchet and Ted from Schitt's Creek, who I adore, but that's mostly just from Schitt's Creek. And I like I always say his name, but is it Donal Logue? I always say his name like wrong. But this most recent season of What We Do in the Shadows, they say his name like 800 times, so like I should have it in my head with the proper saying because he's on it. But yeah, I like him too. This movie does not work for me in so many ways, and we'll talk about it. But I like that they threw a bunch of sharks because I like sharks, but they're all really bad CGI sharks, so like it doesn't really matter.
And the reason I put you at the top of the list because I was very curious. Yeah,
Oh.
well, she's wearing her Jaws shirt for those that can't see. No, I was curious, and we'll talk about where you landed on this because obviously I have curiosities now. But
In
first,
what way? Oh, we'll talk about it. You
Yeah,
said. Never mind.
yeah, we'll talk.
I'm sorry.
So next, we're going to let Mary, our returning tyrant of shark movies, our host of our first Sharkathon last year, tell me about your experience with this movie. Did you see it in theaters? What did you think this last time? Is it hold up for you?
Yeah, so I actually did go see this in theaters. It came out when I was in college, and I remember going to see it. So I do have a fond memory of the first time I watched this. It is not by any means a good movie. It's just so campy and ridiculous. So I think if you go into it with that frame of mind, it can be enjoyable for what it is. It is just, I mean, it's bad, it's silly. The sharks don't look good. But I like a lot of the people in it. And like we've said, Ted from Schitt's Creek. I like Sara Paxton, who's the lead female in this. Like we were saying, again, I also don't know how to say his name, Donal Logue.
Donal, Donald, Donut. Let's just go there.
Donut. Yeah, whatever it is. There's a lot of good people in this. It is just so over the top and ridiculous. I remember when I was first watching it, not really knowing what to expect. There's this character who gets his arm bitten off by a shark and he goes into shock. And I was like, oh, wow. So they're taking the serious route with this. And then he gets up and he's like, he gets a spear. He's like, I'm going to go after the shark. I'm going to kill it because it ate my girlfriend. And I was like, oh, this is how this movie is going to be. So then I was just like, you know what? I'm along for the ride. And it gets sillier and sillier. And I was like, okay, I see how this is going to be. And I just enjoyed it. And it's the kind of movie where like I'll put it on in the background, I'll watch it, when it's on TV, whatever, and that's just kind of how I enjoy it. So yeah, it's just fun for me.
It's ambiance.
Yeah.
All right, John, what about you? What do you think of Shark Night 3D?
This is my second watch. My first watch was during Mary's infamous Sharkathon, and I will never watch this movie without being part of a Sharkathon ever again.
You're not going to volunteer for this service ever again?
No, this is not going to be in the rotation. No. But I will give it credit for the variety of sharks. We had a hammerhead, which you do not see on screen probably other than Shark Week. The major plot twist at the very end was the most obnoxious, ridiculous thing I've ever thought of. The whole thing that drives this. But I think to Mary's point, if you can go in with the cheese and enjoy the camp, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just even at that level, it's pretty bad. Like I guess if we had to go with campy shark movies, I'm gonna go with Deep Blue Sea all day, every day. That movie is legit fun and has a better rap song about sharks. This one is abysmal. So if and for anybody that actually dares to watch this, be sure to stay through the credits because you are in for a treat.
It's cringy. It's definitely really cringy.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you call that a treat?
What did you say, Eli?
I said, is that what he calls that a treat?
Quotation marks around that treat.
All right, fair enough.
Eli, what did you think of this one? Did you see this one in theaters too?
Yeah, by mistake. When I was in because when I was in college, the local theater, once a month they would do this thing where on a Saturday night it was like from 10 to like 4 in the morning. It was $50. They played 4 movies and it was all you could eat popcorn and all you could drink soda. And I used to like scrounge up my money every month to go to that because normally they were horror themed. So the 1 month it was like possession themed. So they played The Last Exorcism, which I love. And I wanted to see that in theaters again. The Exorcist, Paranormal Activity. And then they normally didn't tell you what the 4th film was because it was played in between the 2nd and the 4th. And it was normally had nothing to do with the theme. And that was like a movie you could go take a break, or some people would go take a nap or whatever. So I'm get through the first 2 movies, and then this is the 3rd one. And I remember the trailers for this. I was like, I have no desire to see that. And fate, what you know, said, today you will.
You're going to anyway.
And I did not enjoy it. There are parts where I do laugh out loud, and I can't. Sometimes I go back for if this movie was trying to be real campy, or if like they just did stuff. And like, so some of the things I do laugh about, but like it's hard for me to watch like these kind of shark movies. Like if like the shark looked like video game sharks and like in the real world, and I like that always pulls me out of it when I watch stuff like that. And just some like the dialogue and like the decisions they make and like the twist at the end, I'm like, all right. But I, like Mary, I remember because like a lot of people fell asleep during this movie. And like they just sleep right there in the theater. And I remember laughing, and I was like the only one, because I was probably the only one awake watching this train wreck, laughing so hard when his arm's bitten off and he's like not conscious. And then they're like, he hit your girlfriend. He's like, and you can blatantly tell his arm's just tucked in his shirt. And he's got that spear and he's out just, going through the water. And I was like, what is this? But then like halfway through, I'm like, oh my God, just end so we can watch the last movie. Like, I hate this so much. I didn't enjoy it.
Did not enjoy it.
Did not enjoy it.
Got that. So for me, this is one that I did not see in theaters. This I don't even know if it was on my radar. I don't know if I knew anything about it when it was out in actual theaters in 2011. This is one that Mary recommended to me, and I watched several years ago, like 3 years ago, I guess, Mary, when you said I should go check this out because she learned kind of the goofy styles of movies that I can be into. And then, as John said, we watched it for a Sharkathon. That was my second one. So it was, this is my 3rd time watching it. And I think I've finally gotten my head around why I like it, or at least why I can enjoy it, why I can sit down and kind of turn my brain off and have a good time. This is right in my sweet spot for silly, homage 80s horror movies. There's enough going on here, and you're right, Jamie. It is PG-13. It should never be PG-13. This would be Piranha 3D if it was R.
That's a good point. I love Piranha 3D. We've had that conversation.
Exactly.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. And I think if it was R,
and they just
fun.
went for it. Just splatterfest kind of thing. But I do enjoy it. I get it. I mean, even it's almost 12 years old now, but it does not age well. The camera angles are blatant. I mean, they make Texas Chainsaw Massacre that we talked about last week look tame by comparison. You can tell that this movie was very much made by a bunch of middle-aged men who had a perception of what the kids were doing. It's like your uncle who's in his 50s using like young kid lingo to try and fit in. That's what this movie kind of feels like to me. Like, this is what cool, I assume, is. It's interesting to me, though, and to the point you just made, Eli, the 3D sometimes is very subtle and sometimes it's very jarring. Like, to your point, when they're underwater with the sharks, you can see the overlay very obviously. Like, they are CGI. And because of the 3D layering, underwater, it just doesn't work unless you're in a 3D theater, I'm assuming.
And you know what's crazy too is like even the close-up shots where you'd think they would at least try to go practical to like blend that out a little bit. Nope, they go full on turd with teeth. just right there on top of it.
I think, and not to interrupt, I just want to say, because we're talking about 3D though, but I do think there might have been a slightly more, I might have enjoyed this more if I saw it in theaters in 3D, just because sharks coming at me is way more fun than just watching sharks on my CGI sharks on my screen.
So, but I did want to mention this, and this is for John and Jamie. I mean, we got Joshua Leonard back into a movie. You've got to be excited.
Oh,
about that.
yeah, I was so excited that he's in it. Although, actually, he's my favorite one, right? In there.
He's red.
Right? Yeah. No, but he's my favorite one in Blair Witch, isn't he?
I don't know. I think so, because he hated Heather.
Yeah.
He's the one that was always yelling at Heather. So
I thought Mike hated Heather the most.
I thought they all hated.
They
Oh no,
went- they went
but
back
he's
and
the
forth.
one. Isn't he the one that throws the map though? He throws the map in the river.
No,
I think.
Mike.
Mike
Mike
does.
throws.
Mike
Oh,
Yeah.
then never mind.
Yeah.
Then I guess okay. I stand the correct, but yeah.
That movie.
and we've all mentioned this a couple of times, and it may just be me and Jamie that remember this, but every time I see Donal Logue in something, all I can remember, or all I can think about, is his taxi driver character from MTV when he used to do the bumpers for MTV. I think that's kind of where he got his start.
Oh my God.
You remember
I don't
that?
Yeah. I mean, he also though he was on Grounded for Life, which was a sitcom that like took place in Staten Island but was never filmed in Staten Island. But that's why
Two
it's stuck in my-
characters from this movie were on that show.
Oh,
Two
really?
characters from this movie were also in Hatchet, because
That's right.
Joshua Leonard is also in Hatchet. and
That's
so
right.
it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure was.
What was it, some kind of weird reunion?
They were.
Oh wait, Hatchet's after this? No, I don't know.
I don't think so. I
The
think
first
Hatchet's
one?
before.
Is
Yeah, I
it?
think so.
It was the
I
first
thought
Hatchet
so.
like 2009.
I don't remember. That's but whatever. Anyway, sorry, we're
That's
going
okay.
on we're already going on like a. I'll find it for us, but
But no, for me, this is a fun movie when you're in the right mood for a certain kind of fun movie. There's some really fun kills in it that make you laugh. And I laugh every time when he gets so indignant and then reveals his big master revenge plan for being disfigured, because he has this scar. He's like this gorgeous guy and he has a scar under his eye. You've ruined my life. You destroyed my face.
well, she may have ruined his modeling career. I mean, people make good money that way. And Hatchet was 2006, so you guys are right. And this is 2011, so
So
way
I'm going to
before.
kill everybody you know because I've got this scar. It's my favorite dumb revenge plot ever.
Well, he also didn't know. Well, again, he didn't know she was coming back, right? She just happened. She was saying this is her first time back.
Yeah.
So it's not like he had this, right? He didn't even, like, he hatched this plan when he saw her at the
Exactly.
gas station. He was like, okay.
There's the chum I'm going to use this week for all these sharks that I've been trapping in the lake. Yeah.
I have to say, I do kind of like the plan to, just live stream all these shark kills for Shark Week. I think it's pretty cool.
Super
But,
legal.
I do have to say the one practical effect is I think in the picture behind me, if people can't see it, it's when she's in the cage trapped with the shark that's trying to come at her. Like I said, I like Sara Paxton, so I bought myself a cameo from her, and I asked her about this movie, and she said she was underwater filming this, and they had this like puppet or whatever you would call it,
Animatronic.
like animatronic, yeah, like coming at her, and she said it was pretty scary. And that is like the one decent looking shark in this movie, because all the other ones look really, really silly. But the other one I like is who is that American Idol girl who I like the one who gets
Katharine
eaten by,
McPhee.
yeah,
think.
the one who gets eaten by all the tiny sharks. I thought that was kind of a cool kill.
Yeah, the cookie cutter shark idea seemed very cool.
It was silly. I
And-
don't know.
That scene is similar in Piranha, right? Like, not that I'm going to keep bringing up the movie, but what, like, at some, because the piranhas are small and there's got to be at
Mhm.
least one scene where they eat at someone.
Oh, yeah.
Those scenes could have been as effective, but
But I agree with you guys. I really wish they would have like upped the gore and made it really
just made it like,
silly
yeah,
and-
batshit,
yeah.
like batshit insane. Because then, like,
Because I understand why you guys didn't like it. I mean, it is like so ridiculous and goofy, and I can totally see why people wouldn't like it. But like Dave said, it's just so goofy. Like I just enjoy it. I don't know.
Well, and I don't mean to offend, but the reason I said at the top, Jamie, when I was curious where you landed on this, this fits very close in my reckoning with a movie like Crawl. So,
It's funny. I kind of thought Crawl was going to come up, and why do I push for Crawl but not push for this
well, and
movie?
you don't have to, but that's sort of the beauty of the Spice of Life.
Yes, but I think
In
Crawl
my
is
brain, they're
written
the
better.
same.
No. See, I don't think Crawl goes for camp, even though like there's a scene where the alligators pull the guy's head in the arms and like he gets like completely dismembered in front of like it doesn't feel this just feels poorly written because I'm not sure they were going for camp. This isn't Piranha. This is like feels like they really were trying, but they wanted to be different, and it's very hard. I get it's so hard to be different that when you try and be different, sometimes the writing's gonna suffer, and like you're just gonna get these stupid, convoluted things that don't make sense, or plot holes, or even just they're not even plot holes. Like I started a list of things I hate about like moments in the movie that I can't stand, and I gave up because like I was just like these
I'm
just.
just writing
But
this
that's
movie
what I mean,
now.
like. It was just no, it wasn't even it was just like stupid things that are unnecessary. Like I mean, like the racist encounter at the gas station, like that. Like I don't know, there's like all the way they introduce those people. Like, can we make them more over the top? But I think they were trying to be serious that you hate them. Like, okay, racism, everybody hates racism. Let's make these guys super. And it's like, my God, like
They had to show you they were from a small town.
Yeah.
fall down in it.
These are
I mean,
the
what
bad
did
guys.
she say? Like they're harmless, they're locals. What?
Exactly. Yeah,
And
that's when you have a
obviously
longer
they're not.
conversation with her. Yeah. I just think it's funny that they drove up in a $70,000 Suburban, then hopped in a $150,000 wakeboard boat to this multi-million-dollar house to just hang out.
Oh my God, the scene where she speeds in the boat gives me, I just can't, I hate the fucking glee on her face. And like, they're like, slow down. And she's just like laughing. And like, oh God, that scene, I fucking,
Oh, and the guy watching them go to the bathroom.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
WTF. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unnecessary and weird.
Well, and to Jamie's point, we've got to remember, and I get that they are different, and one of them is better executed. But like I said, as far as experience, they're very similar to me. But I get it. This movie was made, the director on this was David R. Ellis, who did a couple of the Final Destination, but he also did Snakes on the Plane. So he's got a different game running.
but I love Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah, I love
See, that's
Snakes
the
on a Plane.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I love
great.
Snakes on a Plane. Like, I don't know
I do
why this
too,
was such
but
a
it's-
miss
Honestly, when I
for
watch
me, at least. But
when I watch it, because like this was around that time where they were like doing those like for college kid horror movies that were very rarely ever good. You guys remember this is that 10-year period where you had Halloween, Karate Kick Michael Myers, what is that? Halloween Resurrection. And like movies like that, and like they were all like about college kids, and they were all stupid ridiculous, and like some of those like I appreciate, like I can appreciate campy and stuff. My problem though is like this movie, I feel like it didn't know what was it, a creature feature, because it started out like a weird Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing with like weird hillbillies in a bathroom at a gas station and weird eggs on the counter and stuff, and then then it went to like, well, it's this creature feature. Then all of a sudden, no, it's kind of like this killer revenge thing. And then the other thing I don't like is like Dave, like to your point, like there are creature features from like the 80s, like and 70s that I really like that are kind of ridiculous, but like the practical effects were always what was good. Like Grizzly. Oh, you remember Grizzly? Oh, like, Grizzly was good. So, and the problem with this is like the sharks didn't look good. They didn't look good dying. Like your two practical effects was that shark head, which if I remember correctly, the scene before it was this massive great white coming to the cage, and then you can see from the picture it's this weird little like anemic shark in there, and then him tucking his arm in his vest when there's a clear arm hump, and he's arm hump like a pirate arm hump, and he's like out there with a spear like, ugh. So like, nah, it lost me there. Like it kind of takes away the fun if everywhere I look there's shit and not a bare spot to stand.
It's fair.
But I will say this. I always like to say one good thing. I will give Sara Paxton credit because like in this, she plays like this, like, preppy, like blonde, like supposed to be beautiful girl, whatever. And then like she goes to Innkeepers and she's like a hobo girl. And like I kind of wish she was in more movies. Because I think if she was given, because like the Innkeepers aren't bad. I don't mind the Innkeepers.
Oh, I don't like the Innkeepers.
I feel like if she'd be put in like a movie with like, especially a horror movie with like a really good script, like I really think she could. I think she'd have a chance to shine. It's just unfortunate she's kind of putting these weird like stuff.
She played a mermaid in Aquamarine. You could watch that.
I refuse. I refuse.
That's true.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
That was.
Can I just say that, like, and this maybe goes off, and I'm not even this person, but after last movie and this movie, I just do want to state that these things happen fairly quickly. They establish that they're not going back in the water, and like everybody's getting serious, whatever. But Sara Paxton can't put fucking clothes on this whole movie, even though she's just sitting around the house half the time, just waiting. And it's like, I was just like I'm just sitting there going like, you're not going back in the water. Put some clothes on. Like, you're not going back in. The rest of them, like Katharine McPhee has full jeans and a shirt on. She gets dressed. The rest of them get dressed.
What's weird is like I can see the argument they can make for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, oh, she's being chased by killers. But in this, like the
And
sharks
she's
aren't
in
gonna,
Texas. It's hot.
yeah, but like this, like the sharks aren't gonna come on land.
No, she's been hanging out in the house just waiting for help.
Like
just
like that guy's bleeding to death. Put on some pants.
I mean, bikinis aren't the most comfortable thing to hang around in. I mean, like,
Yeah. Especially in a stressful situation, I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, and to that point, like I said, it's obvious who's making this movie, the kind of people that are making it. And it is interesting. And I thought, and I looked it up, this would be a hard movie because it is starting to become irrelevant. Even when it came out, it's kind of out of touch with its audience, because this came out the exact same year that a movie we talked about 2 weeks ago, Cabin in the Woods, which makes commentary on all the things that this movie's doing. It's much more aware, and then this one comes out and is like
God,
sincerely making all those tropes.
Year, I didn't even. Yeah, that doesn't even feel like the same. But again, I don't even remember ads for this. Like I just saw it streaming, so I guess it wasn't even early streaming because it was like 10, 12, whatever.
That's what's kind of weird because this was kind of during the end.
Felt
of that.
older.
Yeah, but like that's what's kind of weird because this is like kind of during the end of like that college kid type horror movies that were coming out, and we were starting to get like ghost territory where like we were kind of making that change where every movie in the next 10 years is going to be about ghost spirits, possessions or whatever. Yep. And it's kind of weird because like a lot of those tried to be serious, and like it almost starts to fill out of place if you look what else came out like that year. Because like I probably do one here. I love The Last Exorcism, but like that kind of
love The Last Exorcism.
Oh, love it.
Fucking fantastic movie.
Trucies. Like that kind of try to take it serious, right? And around the same time, you're around like Paranormal Activity, which try to take it serious. Like, so like we're getting out of like that kind of like real campy area. And Dave, I know you made that comment, like it's like a bunch of 40-year-old men. I wouldn't say it felt more like the guys that made this were those guys that graduated high school, but 10 years later, they're still going to high school parties. That's what it felt like made this movie. Bunch of weirdos.
Also, yeah, like, I don't know if we're basing it on like, I don't even know what time frame, but like, and I guess creature features have always been different, so fine. But like, she's not even like a final girl. She's a damsel in distress, which you wrote. Like, and that kind of bothered me too. Not because like of that. Like, I'm just like, I'm not even that person, and I'm not like, oh, woman. I'm just saying though, like, we couldn't even get like a fight. Like, we couldn't even get that trope. It's more like he had to come and like, I don't know. It's just a very weird, especially because of the romantic subplot that doesn't even need to exist in this movie. Like, is like so odd. And I would have liked a better storyline, at least for these people, but I'm asking way too much of the writing in this movie. But
also, did you notice it had the same exact ending as Piranha?
Yeah.
With like
the
the
jump
shark.
scare with the jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The like exact same shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It sure did.
Yeah.
So
sad.
Exactly. So, but I know you're saying it for a different reason. I'm saying it, Eli, because I know you hate them both. But
yeah, well, yeah.
This could have very easily been Piranha for me if it was Piranha, and
if
Piranha was
the other
first.
shoe
So
dropped,
yeah, if it was written like Piranha and was doing knew what it was doing and was rated R, I guess.
Right.
I think the big thing. I think a lot of these movies, if you're going to be like a little bit silly and a little loose on storyline, whatever, then like we know me at this point. We know what I look for in a movie, and it's not much at all. So
Well,
it's buckets of blood. But like, yeah, I don't. And again, if I saw this in 3D, that would have helped, but I never did. So it's
Yeah.
like hard to like even have fun with that aspect of it, which I'm sure like was.
it wasn't that great. I can tell you, it wasn't that great. You know, and even like if it didn't want to go the full Piranha route, like they could have done something like Broken Lizards Club Dread, which I also like that movie a lot. And it was like this comedy that was kind of loosely a horror. Like they couldn't even went
I
that
think I
route with
saw
it.
that.
Yeah, it's the same guys
Yeah,
that do
I
like
saw it.
Super Troopers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I always like that. Like they could have went something like that route, and like maybe that would have, if it was more, if they were focusing more on like, oh well, this is really just a comedy, loosely wearing a cloak of horror. Like even that would have been better than this.
Well, but I think that would have taken another level of craft. And no offense, David R. Ellis, God rest his soul. I know he's dead now. I don't know that he had the skill to. I think he wasn't self-aware enough to realize that this was not cool when he made it. He didn't have the chops to make something that was self-aware or meta at all. He just wanted to make that kind of movie because that's the kind of movie that he loved when he was a kid, and he assumed that kids hadn't changed in the last 20 years, so he made another one of those kind of movies. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that he would have thought of it as a commentary of any kind. He just wanted to make a pretty people horror movie, creature feature.
Listen, as someone who doesn't, I appreciate that. I appreciate someone just wanting to make something for fun and like, and I don't mean, we're not talking about like Kevin Smith making the Walrus one that I Tusk for fun just because he can, because he has money. I mean, like a guy who like, you know, making a movie that he would enjoy to watch and like, this is, you know, whatever. And I
Like
totally,
Snakes on
I
the
just
Plane.
like,
Yeah.
I think he struck with that one. Didn't quite nail it with this one.
I
And
just wish
listen,
the sharks looked better.
that too. Yeah. And I know a lot of people don't like snakes on a plane. Like it's just a weird, like I also have like nostalgia for it for personal reasons and whatever. And it's like I know a lot of people think that movie is crap. Like I get it.
Yeah,
But
there's
it's
no
odd
defending
that
it, but
one
it's still
works
fun.
for me. Yeah, that one works for me. And I also haven't watched it in a while now. I think I own it. I should go.
I saw it for the first time just like a couple of years ago. It's still great.
Oh, you
It's
saw it for the
fun.
first time? I saw.
Yeah. I know you
it
saw it like
twice
what,
in
7?
theaters.
Oh, twice? I thought it was like some
No,
marathon
I mean
session,
two
like
in
where you went
theater.
and saw like
No, 2 in theaters though. Who sees snakes on a plane twice?
Jamie
But,
does.
in theaters?
Apparently,
Yeah,
Apparently
they
you and
played
Eli.
it. The local theater near us only had one screen, and for some reason, and it was like $3 at the time to go to. And for some reason, like sometimes they would try to change the movie out every week or like twice a month. They let this play for like 2 months, and so I went and saw it twice.
My sister and I took 2 different groups of people to see it. So at least but we had so much fucking fun with it that we were like, you need to see this. And
So
made
you were
other
tour
people-
guides to bring others in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Snakes on a Plane, it felt like that movie was just pure like chaos and insanity, but like he steered into it. It's like, okay, this is what this is. But this movie, it felt like
Isn't Sarah Paxton in it? I'm sorry. Isn't she the girl with the chihuahua? She's not. Who's the
No.
blonde with the chihuahua? Oh, who is
I
in
don't
that
remember.
blonde in that one?
I can't think of her name, but I can
But you
picture
know,
her
you could
face.
see her because I can't
Yeah.
see her. I just assumed I saw like blonde and petite
Yeah.
and like.
But like this, it felt like he thought he was like, oh, this is gonna be an awesome shark movie, and he's like going down that lane.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting the impression that the studio was like, we need a guy to direct this really
I see who it
bad
is, okay.
shark movie. And let's
Rachel
go with that guy that
Blanchard.
did the.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that,
Sorry.
John?
I was gonna say, it feels like the studio, like they're like, we need a guy to direct this really bad shark 3D movie because we want to try to do this 3D thing, and sharks are cool, right? Kids will go to see this, and
Sharks
they
are
just
always
put-
cool.
Well, exactly. That's like the point where it's like, just throw this guy, because this is literally the last movie he directed. He did a couple other things like as a second unit director, but like the one thing that I'm kind of disappointed is this guy didn't direct one music video.
This basically was a music video.
Pretty
If you
much.
think about it.
So yeah, that would be the one music video he did direct probably. And
Mhm.
Is this?
Yeah, the whole boat race was a music video. You're right. That-
Mhm.
Oh my god,
right,
that
yeah.
scene! Don't bring it back up, please. Or the scene again later where they can't stop the goddamn boat. Like,
Exactly.
it's like
But,
speed.
Remind me what happened there. Why
No,
did it become
I
speed
never
all of a
remember.
sudden?
I was actually like doing something else while I was catching up on this because again, I've seen this more times than I care to. But I was like, I'm gonna watch it again because I need to be fresh. Like, and we're gonna
Right.
talk about it. I can't go off like last year's memories of it. But like, yeah, that scene with the boat, I was just like, what the? Why we can't stop?
Mary, why did they jump off the boat as they returned to the dock they just left? Please explain that for us people.
When they crash it, you mean?
It's
Yeah.
bold of you to assume that I understand anything.
She's the
Well,
marine
this is your
mechanic.
movie.
Just because she likes it doesn't mean she has to
Yeah,
know why they
like-
made stupid decisions. She has a
Eli,
direct
can you help
line
us?
to the director
If I
in his
like,
grave.
it's weird because like I like when I watch this movie, it kind of like goes in my eyes. My brain's like, oh, no. But if I remember, like something got stuck or something got tangled up in the boat or something. They couldn't steer it, and it was heading towards the gas
Yeah, you
pumps
have to stop it by
on
crashing
the
it.
dock. Oh yeah, I just disappeared and put my hand up. It was like they couldn't like turn the boat, and it was heading
Oh, okay.
directly towards their 11 gas pumps they had on their dock for whatever dumb reason. And they had one boat and one jet ski, but we need like 2 or 3 gas pumps. And so then they jump out of it. But what was also weird too, because
They had their own gas pump,
on the
like
dock,
their own gas station. You want to talk about like
Jeff
privilege,
Bezos
man.
money, my guy. Jeff Bezos money. But what's weird is like they dived out of the boat, right? But not, a little bit later, like he's out there fighting a shark up to his waist, and like they dived in, they would have got stuck in the mud. Head first, stuck in the mud, feet up, sharks ate them.
They would have broken their damn backs. But
Yeah.
they did at least remember to throw that cooler with his arm out, because we're going to attach that arm.
Which also,
Frankenstein
what kind of
style.
surgeon is he trained to be if he couldn't attach the arm right there at dental floss? Just saying.
I'm just saying, like, I'm like right now, and I'm sitting here thinking of like Mary with a Ouija board trying to talk to the director, asking the questions for John, like trying to get the answers to
I don't mess with Ouija boards.
Well, if this
because that's who you get. You get.
Mhm.
this
Go on,
this may
Cameo.
go
You
a
can
little
ask.
ways to helping you understand the boat explosion and the fireball and all that. Remember, Ellis got his start as a stuntman and then as a stunt
This is true.
coordinator. He was a stuntman in almost every freaking movie that was made in the 80s. So that's his world. So he's going to
Yeah.
have some big explosions and
Yeah.
expensive crashes and stuff like that. And he did. He got what he wanted out of this one.
Yeah.
This gives me hope that I can make a shark movie someday.
Exactly. You got to start on your stunt career first, though, Mary. You got to start there.
Yeah, okay. I'll start jumping out of stuff.
I was going to say, I can mentally picture a director telling you, I need you to jump off this building into that sewage. I'm out. I'm done.
You can just start with Eli. You can tell Eli what to do. Eli, go jump out, but you're going to jump like this. And that's how you can stunt coordinate at home.
I'm telling you, we could make a shark movie, Mary, the same way this guy did. Just cut up a bunch of random words, put in a hat, shake the hat, pull out a word. Shark. Okay, I'm making a shark movie. Next word. Lake. Okay, sharks in a
I'll
lake.
put my little toy in a bathtub. Ah.
Next word. Swamp. Lake swamp. I guess they're in a lake swamp. Okay.
I like this movie, other shark movies like make sense where they get stuck in these situations, like Jaws or Deep Blue Sea or whatever. But like this movie, I'm sorry if any of you guys lost an arm, I'd be like, it's stuck in there, I guess. Oh, you lost your arm. Like, I guess we're gonna be in this house. Like, I'm not going back in that water.
You're not diving back in the lake to
Sorry.
get my arm?
Sorry, bud. Like,
Dude. Yeah, the 1 in a million shot that he's actually going to find the stupid thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Find the arm. Yeah. It's.
And then what? Now you've got a severed arm in the middle of nowhere. What are you going to do with it?
That's already been in dirty lake swamp water.
right.
Put it
Like
on
they're
there.
not going to
It's
be able
good.
to reattach. Once again, what medical school is this guy going to that he thought, oh, they can reattach this arm? Yes, is it in septic swamp lake water? Maybe.
One of my biggest pet peeves in shark movies, though, this also happens in The Shallows, is when a shark bites someone and it is perfectly cut off. Like in The Shallows, when the shark bites the guy in half and he is perfectly cut in half. Like, why isn't he missing a chunk? Or like, why is this guy's arm just perfectly cut off at the
Shredded. It
shoulder?
should be shredded.
Right. There should be a chunk
Yeah.
missing, or like it should just be like a piece of the arm. like, does the shark just take like a saw and like perfectly buzz it
Mhm.
off? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
If
Okay.
you see
Good
the
to
little
know.
shark behind your head right there, you look at the teeth. They're perfectly razors. And
Right. Yeah.
They
he,
cut
ha-
right.
he,
Yeah, they
he uses his fin and
slice right there, like butter right through.
Well,
That shark
yeah.
is the Gordon Ramsay of sharks. He's not messing around. He's a professional.
well, I was gonna say that this hillbilly, when he decided real quick his revenge plan, he's like, I'm also going to tie swords to their fins.
Mhm.
Perfect cuts. That's all
They
about that
should've.
good
They
old
should've.
fashioned hillbilly revenge.
Do you
Oh my
think
god!
he would
when
want
they
to have?
find the camera. Sorry, no. I was just wait because with tying the swords, maybe think of them putting the cameras on the sharks, which is just like I get that's like when we find out their big bad plot, but like they're just attaching cameras to sharks.
no
Like,
spoiler warning. You're just gonna tell everybody. Just gonna
Waiting
tell
to find out
everybody-
Dr. Evil came up with this plan. We're putting
Lasers.
freaking cameras on the freaking sharks, man.
Yeah, I like it. Let's do that.
So I do have a couple of questions, just out of curiosity, because this is a silly movie, and I get that, but it's got some fun things going on it, and I know it was of offense and maybe even blasphemy to Jamie, but there are a ton of Jaws references in this movie. Do anybody have any favorites or subtle ones that you liked?
no, it was blasphemy. They should have done any of them.
So I was right. They didn't earn any of it.
No, this movie does not earn Jaws references. I'm sorry. Especially to open like that, to open the exact same way as Jaws. No.
I mean, every shark movie has Jaws references and
It better,
steals from
yeah.
it. So
Should have done Cruel Jaws. That was a fun shark movie.
that movie was insane.
And not in a good way.
That movie was a movie.
Yeah, that was that is a very good and nice description, Dave. It was a movie.
I'm not even sure it was a movie, to be honest.
Well, it has it on the cover, so if
that
we were
says
to
I'm a
go by-
movie.
it just
This
it's
is a movie.
it says film, with the rating and
Okay.
such. So if it
Whoa,
has
whoa,
the
whoa,
film
whoa.
tag on it, I
To
guess.
think you actually put that on celluloid versus just a VHS tape, I'm surprised. They probably brought out the VHS recorder and camera and went to town. Nobody bought
That's
film
the
for that
kind
thing.
of shark movie I aspire to make someday.
Those are the fun ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the pressure is off. You don't have to worry about a big studio reviewing your movie. You just do what you want to do.
I just remember when after I watched this train wreck, like I was looking online because I think I was trying to figure out who somebody was in or something, and I found this one review, and someone was like, "This is like Jaws, but with more sharks." And I was like, no, I was like, this is like Jaws. If someone who never watched Jaws had somebody that only knew 11 words in English language try to describe Jaws to them, and then they try to make a movie from that.
That's what they say about every shark movie. And that's what they
Yeah.
like anytime there's a new
Mhm.
possession movie, they say this is the new Exorcist. And like,
Well,
I
they
mean,
shouldn't.
Well, I also
I'm
wanted to
sorry.
say though, when I'm yelling that it's blasphemy and whatever and copying Jaws and blah blah, my biggest gripe as soon as it started was that like, yes, everything takes from Jaws, but to do the exact same dragging through the I mean, shot for shot at
Oh, yeah.
moments, trying to replicate the beginning of Jaws does not work for me. It makes me very angry.
But they got more detailed underwater shots leading up to that.
I spent half this movie going, is that just a swamp log floating in there? Oh, wait, is that turd? Oh no, that's a shark. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
did you just say, is that a turd?
Yeah, a lot of them like I remember like when you see underwater like the cookie cutters are like whatever, and I'm like, there's a bunch of little turds in there. And then I remember the cookie, and then if you're a shark nerd like myself, I was very frustrated about that cookie cutter scene because cookie cutters' teeth and mouths don't open wide enough. They cannot bite like that or eat like that. They can only eat the skin and top layer of the blubber.
They were
They-
taking her skin, were they?
They
I mean,
ate
now
her
I'm
down to
defending her.
death
Oh, I
like a
stopped
grapple of
paying
piranhas,
attention.
and cookie cutters don't do that.
Dude.
It's
They
a
could-
movie.
They could
I
have done
thought they were
any
just
other like
doing
small
this.
sharks. No, they went with like cookie cutters, which are the coolest, most non-threatening shark.
This isn't the Discovery Channel. It's a movie.
I was gonna
I
say,
am the
this,
Discovery Channel.
this is starting to sound a
Shut
little
up.
bit like the backhoe in the middle of the woods argument. I don't think that's the concern we really need to focus
Yes.
on.
Well, I was concerned, Dave.
I mean,
That
hey,
was
if they
your
want to be on
fix.
Shark Week, they better be accurate, okay?
Exactly.
If that's what they're going for.
I mean,
What's
their whole
crazy-
thing was inaccurate and having these sharks in a lake anyway or whatever. So
Well, I'm
It's a
pretty sure
saltwater lake.
Yeah, whatever.
Shark Week that year, they had oh God, I'm drawing a blank. Tall skinny boy.
JP.
Yeah, he was on Shark Week that year because he was in a shark
oh, because
movie.
he was in this movie, and yeah,
I'm gonna put cameras on sharks and invite you guys to a special lake house.
Nice.
We've got to
will go.
disfigure you first, Mary.
Yeah.
it's a problem.
I'll have a tiny scar.
A
I'm, like,
hangnail. That's your
climbing-
revenge.
I'll be climbing in the cage. It's fine.
You can only wear a bikini the whole time, Jamie.
Does that count? I was gonna say, does that count for all of us? Because I
Yes,
do not
you
know.
can all only
if
wear
anybody
bikinis
would
because
wanna
it's
watch a movie.
2022 and I have to be woke.
I'm just saying, I do not know if anybody would watch a movie
Quality.
if my Bilbo Baggins looking ass is wearing a bikini.
They can be very
gotta happen.
supportive. I'm just saying.
Bikinis.
So
Oh.
did you all know that there was a Shark Night 2 slated? Like they were
Yeah.
in production to actually make a, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why is this the well you go back to when they can't make
Why
a
not?
freaking Tucker and Dale 2? That just seems rude to me that they're throwing money at this thing.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure when they were slating to do the second one, it was going to be a sci-fi exclusive, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
I'm
I
pretty
didn't go
sure it
down
was-
that rabbit hole.
Pretty sure it's going to be a sci-fi exclusive, and at this point, they'll just make anything.
Well, and also because I mean, as we all know, and evidenced by my first statement this tonight, like sharks are very popular, and like people will watch all these shark movies. So like, I get making a sequel. Granted, I personally think this movie is terrible, but I understand where that comes from when you're a movie studio. Because I did this make decent money? I don't like.
I was just gonna ask that question. Like,
People
did
see
it-
shark. People go to see shark. And now you're talking sharks in 3D. Come on.
I
I
would.
mean, I didn't
feel-
go see it, but I don't even remember
like-
it coming out.
I feel like the answer would be no if a small college theater threw this in their bargain night $50 movie tickets. You see 4 movies and drink all the soda and eat
I
all
don't
the
know.
popcorn
I
you can.
mean,
I hate 3D. I just have to say that.
It's not good. I
it's
don't think
not
I've ever
great,
seen a
but
good 3D movie.
I do like it in like silly movies. Like I'm tired of it in like Marvel movies and like whatever else. But like,
They have not done a 3D Marvel movie, Jamie.
oh,
On a
whatever.
budget of 28 million.
No, I've
made
seen no.
41.
Yeah, they-
I
and a half.
put those
Almost every
glasses
Marvel
on.
movie that came
Yeah, what the
out.
fuck?
No,
That's-
they've
you
done
didn't do that,
like the IMAX with their weird IMAX glasses, but they've not done a solid 3D Marvel movie.
Yeah, a lot of the movies had those options to go see it in 3D.
Yeah.
They loved upcharging you to go see Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I'd fight you on that one.
I mean,
Anyway,
have at it.
whatever. Change that with some other studio. That because I'm just saying, like, you know, I enjoy. We brought it up like when we were talking about remakes. Like I liked My Bloody Valentine in 3D because it was silly and like they threw things at you, and I was like, this is so
That
silly
one
and
was silly and
fantastic.
fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, like so I do like when 3D's done like that. I don't really like when it's just to enhance a movie or like when like, it has
force
to be
perspective.
a
Yeah.
corny, silly movie. Like it has to be.
So, speaking of 3D, we also know our friend in this movie, JP, also did the mega blockbuster Avatar, which brought the big 3D to the screen.
I've
Can
never
you
seen
imagine
Avatar.
You
I
imagine
haven't
being
Never
that
either.
guy?
seen Avatar.
Really,
Wow.
Mary? Because
You
it's
not
very
seen
hard to
Avatar?
find those people. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Neither has like my sister, I
Solidarity.
think. Yeah, it's like really hard to find. someone who-
Honestly, Avatar is not bad. It's just about 11 hours too long.
well, so
I
the
won't
other-
watch it.
When I was sitting through 2.5 hours of Terrifier the other night, and I had to pee, and there was no choice, like I had to leave. Avatar was playing like in the theater right across like the thing, and that thing's fucking loud. Like I was to pee, and I was like, I come back into the theater, and I'm not like a talker, but I was like, Avatar's a loud movie. Like
Yeah, I guess which is weird. They're redoing. Well, probably because it's been 11 years since the sequel, but the sequel's getting ready to come out.
2009. That came
Yeah,
out.
2009.
Came
So-
out 2 years before this movie, and it made like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And then he was asked to be in Shark Night. Think about that.
well, did he film Shark Night Well, no, Avatar they filmed for like 11 years. Well, not 11, but a
He's
long
in a
time.
lot of movies though. Like he's
Oh,
a
it's
character
insane.
actor. Like
Yeah.
he's in a lot. Like
He was in
Bones.
Dodgeball. He was in
Yeah.
Dodgeball.
He was in
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he's in Dodgeball. He was in like
he's in a lot.
he was in a lot of seasons of Bones. Guy's been on everything.
He gets around.
And I'm
Dodgeball
sorry.
has not aged well, by the way.
I guarantee it hasn't. Yeah, I'd say that one's a little rough to watch at this point.
Yeah.
It has not.
I would say that a lot of his movies probably haven't aged well.
Marvel's Avengers Infinity War 3D Blu-ray, which means it was released in 3D.
That,
But it's not like they just made it on Blu-ray for 3D. Here's another one.
but I think it's that
Captain Marvel 3D.
well, I think it's that IMAX 3D. I don't
Well,
think it's
whatever.
actual
I
like
I just-
well, when I think of 3D movies, I think of when they do the cheesy like
Well, exactly. That
"Ugh."
was Eli. That's my point. My point is I don't need it for Marvel movies. That was my point. Like I want the cheesy throw the pickaxe in my face in My Bloody Valentine and like enjoy.
You want
You know.
Jason to shoot the
Mhm.
harpoon gun right into the
Yes,
kid.
right at
Friday
my
night.
face.
Oh,
I love
yes.
watching that movie, even not in 3D, and like imagining like my biggest like example, one of my biggest movie regrets was not seeing Piranha in 3D. Because when I
Yeah.
watch it like on TV, which is how I always saw it, like the first time I watched it and realized I actually love this movie because I thought it was gonna be super stupid and whatever. But like I was like, fuck, I wish I saw this in 3D. Like it's gotta be so much fun.
Just to see Ving Rhames with a outboard motor in the camera.
You mean you
I
don't
think-
wish you saw this in 3D, Jamie?
I said actually I wish I would have because maybe I would have found it more fun.
I have a confession to make. I actually don't love Piranha.
Really?
I don't either.
It's
I
not for
don't
everybody.
think.
totally
I don't
get
think
for
that.
it, too.
I don't think it's like a beloved.
Yeah, it's a
I just
niche
we bring it
movie.
up because I know Dave and I have that connection over Piranha.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It's just it isn't for me. But to take it back to sharks real quick, has anybody watched The Reef Stalked that just came out recently?
No, huh?
That might be the worst shark movie I've ever seen.
I didn't like The Reef, so I haven't watched the second Reef.
Did I watch
I
that
was
with
like-
you?
No, I watched it by myself.
It's like brand new, isn't it? Right? Am I thinking of the right
Yeah,
thing? It's
it
like
just came
yeah.
out. And I put a video on Instagram of like the CGI shark swimming up like "Boo," like really quick.
No, wait a minute. I'm gonna argue, Mary, because we watched the worst. What was the one with fucking the one that's like all green? It's all green screen, and they're on like the floating like oh fuck. It had the name we
No,
watched.
oh yeah, the one with Alicia Silverstone.
Yes, yes.
The Reef Stalked is worse. Well,
No.
they're tied. They're
Okay.
tied. They're tied.
Oh, I can't think of the name
Um,
of it, but you know what you know.
the
you know.
Requin. The Requin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Worst
The Reef
title
Stalked
ever.
is yeah.
oh, that
they're
was
tied.
bad. That was really bad.
That was horrendous. Yeah. But like yeah, they're tied.
Well, you know, Shark Night 3D, it actually was nominated for awards the year that it came out.
Raspberries?
It was
Raspberry.
Well, no, that's the name of like the bad
Razzies.
Razzies.
or Razzies, whatever.
Raspberries.
Raspberries.
Whatever. Raspberries, yeah. I'm recalling them raspberries. Shanigans and raspberries.
So
You're doing
when
great
Eli
tonight.
doesn't like somebody, he doesn't razz them, he raspberries them.
Hey, if I don't like something, I refuse to give you the correct name. We learned that on the Cropsy episode.
Yeah, we
with
did.
Geraldo
Geraldo.
Geraldo Javera.
Geraldo Javera is like my favorite.
And Maury Popovich was, and that was an accident.
The Maury Povich one was an accident.
No,
But
the-
from now on, I'm going to call him Maury Povich.
The award that this was nominated for was Fangoria's Chainsaw Award
Oh,
for
Oh,
worst
that means
movie.
nothing.
Oh, for worse.
Oh, worse?
For worst movie.
Oh wow.
It didn't win though.
Well,
That's
one.
hurtful.
I have no idea.
Oh. I was going to say, what could possibly be worse than this?
Of course, in a horror movie. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, that's
yeah.
a deep well. Yeah.
That's a horror movie like that. I'm sure. It's something that
I'm
won.
just trying to think what else came out that year.
I'll tell you in a few minutes.
That's not very nice.
The Cabin in the Woods, we know that.
Yeah.
That probably won one of the best. Or what is this? 2011?
Yeah.
Oh, it had been the 2012 awards.
I don't know.
I'll start with.
I'm
11.
confused about Cabin in the Woods because I saw that in 2012.
Yeah, it stayed in the theaters for a while. And remember that it was sort of an anemic distribution, so some places didn't get it
Okay.
until the next movie. It was a weird one when it came out because it was one of those Lionsgate purchases that they put out. But it is
Okay.
weird to think that this came out, and to
Wait,
think
that's
that
2000.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil came out the year before this.
Oh my gosh.
I'm working my
Makes
way
you
to
sad.
2011, guys. I'm almost there. I think.
Times.
It's crazy of a
Oh,
lot
it
of like
skips 2011.
like a lot of creature
The
like, or not
fuck?
just creature, but like a lot of movies that came out and how good they looked and just how bad this looked. Because it's not like this was a like it looked like a sci-fi movie, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it's
It looks a
Sharknado
little
level.
bit cleaner than a sci-fi
Yeah.
movie. Oh, it looks a little bit cleaner. I watched. Well, I guess that's worse than sci-fi. Never mind. I watched like a new. I don't know why I did this to myself, but I watched like a new Asylum movie the other night, and was like, "Holy shit!" I forgot. Like they haven't improved at all, and that's like
What movie?
Aquarium of the Dead.
I'm
Terrible.
intrigued.
No, you're not. Go ahead. Yeah. What?
Did
know
you
what?
say did you say aquarium?
Yes.
Were there like fish?
There were some CGI animals, yes,
Were they zombie
including
animals?
shark.
Oh my god. Oh my god, burn it down. Just burn that movie down.
But it's Asylum, so like you like just look at one shot of them, like just Google them, and you.
I'm going to.
Yeah,
But,
they're known for doing the good ones.
Yeah, that's what I.
That should be their tagline. We're doing the good ones. Oh my
Yeah, so
God.
Jamie, I did look it up for worst film. The
Oh,
winner,
thank you, because
the winner was Human Centipede 2. I don't think we would argue.
that's
Humans.
fine. I never even watched
Yeah.
it, so
And
yeah.
then this was tied for second with Fright Night, the remake of Fright Night.
I like the remake.
Wow.
Of
Yeah, so do I.
Really?
Yep.
Like I'm not saying it's the greatest movie, but like I kind of like it. Like
It's
I,
fun.
I
Apparently, Fangoria.
yeah.
I
Well,
would
the-
argue
yeah, the
Human
readers, 'cause
Centipede
don't
2 is
we
better
vote?
than this.
I never saw it.
Whoa.
I've never-
That's a bold statement and
I'm-
one worthy of divorce.
Wow.
You say
All
that
right.
every day. And guess what?
I do.
Here's a
You're
bold
still
statement.
here.
I've never seen either Human Centipede.
I regretfully have seen them all. And
Yeah,
I,
same
yeah,
here.
How many
Now they're
are
in
there?
your
There's not
brain.
just
Three.
like two.
There's
three.
three.
Oh,
The
what I
third-
did do though
The
is
third one's terrible.
I don't
Well,
know if
they're
you
all
can still
terrible.
find it, but like at the time that it came out, Human Centipede, not the movie that we watched and we're supposed to be talking about. At the time it came out, Daniel Tosh did a spoiler thing on his show and he told you about it, but then he had the full video and it was like a 30-minute recap of
Mhm.
Human Centipede.
I remember
and
that.
That's fucking hilarious.
Mhm.
It
And
is,
that's,
yeah.
That's how I watched Human Centipede because I was like, I don't even want to deal with this. I watch like you guys know, I watch a lot of shit, but I just had no desire to sit through.
No, I mean, they're,
Yeah.
they're not good.
Especially when you know what they're gonna do. Like,
Yeah.
here's your option: someone's gonna shit, someone's gonna have to eat it. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I know
Yeah.
it's.
I remember when he was like, pick your B. And I still think about that all the time.
That's why, Mary, I used to like say it to my friend. I used to say,
Yeah.
pick your B.
Pick your B.
Yeah, I think we've been with me long enough to know that that's nowhere near the lane that Dave runs in.
we
Eli,
watched it.
I've got this award thing up for 2011. I think
Oh,
you
yeah.
appreciate this. Guess what the best foreign language film was for 2011?
Was that the year of the with original Let the Right One In?
No,
Oh, because that's a good one.
Yeah, like what is it?
it was Troll Hunter.
Oh,
Yeah, Troll Hunter got it.
nice.
Wait, Steve. More importantly, did Cabin in the Woods win like best movie of 2011?
That's what I'm looking at. Oh, the best limited release direct to video film was Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So there
Good
you
for them.
go. And let's see, best score, best screenplay, best supporting, best wide release film of 2012 was Insidious.
Wow.
Mm,
Okay.
I like that movie.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for the rabbit
No,
hole,
it's-
but I got
I
curious.
like.
I thought it was
finding
funny
out,
that
yeah.
all those movies came out that year. That's
Yeah,
such
that's
a
Yeah,
great.
weird
That's
year.
a
crazy.
lot of. That's
Well,
a lot of big movies.
That's what's weird. Like they did this one when like by this point the genre was kind of shifting.
Mhm.
Because I mean,
It's
really,
much
like
more aware. The genre's becoming much more self-aware of its tropes, and this one is not at all. I don't
No.
get the sense at all that it's aware of what it's doing.
like it's not even
No.
going. It wasn't even like trying to go to the trend. Like it was weird. It wasn't even doing the trend at the time. Like just did this like weird thing.
Well, now it sounds even more. I think, like you were saying earlier, I think he just made it based on his like
What he liked.
interests, what he likes in a movie, and like then you got your action, you got your blow, you got your explosions, you got your like and that's fine. It just doesn't really translate well.
There's an explosion. There's sharks. There's a guy with an arm tucked behind his.
It's so bad. I can't.
It's so
There's
bad.
Donal Logue dancing to 80s metal. That's all I need. That's all I need.
I would have loved to see him pitching this. You got your speedboats, you got your fireballs, you got your bikinis, you got your jet skis, you got 12 different kinds of sharks.
You got
Don't forget me your
a
money.
bunch of hot people. You
Hillbilly gas station.
Dave, I want
Dave.
just a clip of you saying that like over and over and over on repeat.
So who do I make this check out to, Dave?
It's good, exactly. Somebody did. He had somebody pitched.
Which is sad. Because who listened to that and was like, you know what? You got me, son of a bitch. I'm in.
Netflix would have been like
Oh,
second in
yeah.
line. They would have been like,
Oh yeah.
pay this man.
You know what else? Ted looks exactly the same.
He
10
does.
years
He
ago,
doesn't age.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
He does not age. Like
It's same with his episode of Supernatural. Like he
Yeah.
hasn't
he
aged.
just he like looks just exactly the same.
He
Yeah.
was so horrible as a bookish nerd, though.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, but he's also
But
he's
that's
a
the same
doctor on
character.
Schitt's Creek. too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's who
That's
he
the
always
joke on
plays.
Schitt's Creek,
Yeah.
yeah.
Such a
And then,
nerd
like,
on Schitt's Creek.
You know what's
like-
crazy about him is sometimes like when people grow a beard, they kind of look more grown up. And like he still just looks like that baby with a beard.
Mhm.
And it's like the weirdest thing to me.
Why that baby got a beard?
Yeah. Did you come from the Hillbilly gas station?
Is that a Bigfoot baby? Sorry, Dave's a little distracted and bored at this point.
Well,
Yeah, social boredom
I mean,
distraction.
how can you be with this exciting movie, Like you said, sharks, explosions,
You got to say you gotcha.
guy fighting a spear with a one arm, and he's
Fighting
fighting
a
sharks
spear?
Shark,
with a
yeah.
spear. Which also, why'd they have that spear there?
Why not?
It was inside because they fish or
Why?
something, spear fishing or whatever
In
nonsense.
In the
people
swamp
do.
lake?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know how people kill animals. I'm against that. What?
But yeah, but like, let's be honest. When you got Jeff Bezos money and you're living in like the Jeff Bezos
They
house,
might not have had Jeff Bezos money. They had
It's
a boat.
Louisiana.
Yeah, it's
Like,
we're not-
my point exactly. You're in the
Petroleum
middle of
country.
this weird swamp, and you got a house that I will never be able to afford, and like 12 gas pumps.
like listen,
It's
they did
wild.
not have they didn't have Jeff Bezos money, okay? Like they didn't have
Alright,
an island. They're like they had a boat and a house that we're not sure was on. The whole island was hard to get to. They just took it to her house.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah,
I've
they had
been
to
to
build it there.
places where like there's areas of Florida where you have to take a boat to get to it because like there's no, like
And who lives in Florida? Rich people.
no.
Tell you a little secret about Dave. One of his fantasies has always been to have a place that you can only access by boat. That just seems fantastic. I
Yeah,
know
but
it's
then look what
terribly
happened.
impractical.
Yeah, look what happens when like
Like, how are they
Or,
going to
like-
build that house? Think about that. The construction cost alone would bankrupt you.
I had a, and I wouldn't even call him a friend. It was a professional peer, a coworker, not a coworker, but a professional friend.
Colleague.
Who works in a colleague who lives in Alexandria, Virginia, on the Potomac, and takes his speedboat into DC every day. I'm like, that's pretty fantastic. And then I realized, some days it rains.
Yeah.
And it gets cold up there. Maybe it's not as great as I thought it was. But
Watch out! I might be
right.
putting sharks in the Potomac.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what happens when sharks attack his boat? Does he have a spear on it?
I don't think it's ever come up, oddly enough.
I would
I
I'd
don't
say,
think
hey,
I don't think in real life sharks actually jump onto boats and attack boats.
That's because every boat nowadays is equipped with one of them their speakers that paralyzes them for a specific amount of time when you put it down.
Science.
I forgot that. Oh my god. And the real hero, the dog. We haven't even brought him up, but
Mhm.
he is the best part of the movie.
Exactly.
Fucking Sherman.
Always. So
Who names their dog Sherman?
It's cute.
Yeah, why not? I don't know.
It's a dumb name.
I came from a place
Sorry,
where
Shermans of the world.
most dogs had people names.
yeah, my dog was Jake. My
I like people
That's a,
names. I
that's,
think they're
that's
cute.
a good name, though.
yeah.
Sherman's. I mean,
But
unless you're a
John's
tank, I
dog
don't like
has a
that.
people name, so I don't. We're acting like
Yeah, let's we can leave Bruce out of this. Okay.
I knew someone who had bull mastiff, and its name was Billie Jean.
That's a good name.
It's an odd choice.
So I mentioned it earlier, but I do think, and because I know Eli's into this kind of stuff, there is sort of a murder mystery or a death mystery, at least, around this movie with the director, David Ellis. Just a year after this came out, he was found dead in a bathroom in Johannesburg, and nobody ever figured out what happened to him. He was just found dead.
It?
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Because they tried to connect that. There was a in Florida. There was a string of people who, they found bathrooms. Wasn't this what like they thought maybe there was a potential serial killer, and they thought maybe he was hit or something. Yeah.
Yeah, the police in Johannesburg came out and said there wasn't foul play, but nobody ever got a definitive answer on what happened to him.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Don't they do an autopsy?
Yeah, but like it's like autopsies. It's not like CSI where like you can't. And also it depends on who is your medical examiner any good. Like it's not as definitive.
Yeah.
As
I guess I just kind of meant
Stuff
like
like
if they don't know how he died and they did an autopsy and it was like heart disease, then we know, like, you know what I mean? But obviously they didn't find, if they said there's no foul play and they didn't find, overdose or chemical, like whatever in an autopsy, it's just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, because I think they thought, because like some of the people in this area, they thought like it was stuff with like their airway. And like, so like that's why they kind of think, oh, maybe we got a serial killer, but then they never find anything and they just kind of went, not happening anymore.
Yeah.
We're out.
We don't know. See ya. So, and Mary, I thought you'd appreciate that this was, the movie was scored by Graham Revell, who also did Open Water. I know that's a movie that you and I have talked about a couple of times.
Yeah.
Which is weird because that movie, if I remember right, has a great soundtrack. And I couldn't tell you the first thing about the music or soundtrack in this movie.
Oh.
I don't even remember there being one.
Is there music?
I know there's music, like, because it's very much like club.
Oh, there's, and then when the girls are changing in front of the window, there's definitely music when they're purposely getting dressed together right in front of an open window.
It was like
again, it's PG-13 and there's no boobies, so like it's like a weird scene because it's like
Side boob.
it's like one of those like assuming all girls have pillow fights kind of old school things. It's like, well, all girls get undressed together and whatever, but we're not going to show anything, so you're just gonna see
that
them
montage just is so jarring. And I guarantee, and not to be rude, but I guarantee you that was an all-day shoot. One montage scene that they put together.
Very weird.
Any other thoughts or questions on this one?
Yeah. Why was it made?
That's an excellent, for $41 million. That's why it was made.
Because it was
41.5
3D.
million.
Because it was 3D and it had
That's how
sharks.
much it
Like,
cost
those
to
are-
make it?
No,
Or how much?
it cost 25. It made 41 and a
So
half.
it made-
That's
so
why
it
it was
made.
made.
I just would like to make my first official public apology on the show. I would like to apologize that I contributed to that by accident. I didn't know.
$3 worth.
I didn't know.
I wonder if this puppet cost 20 million.
Yeah, that's the budget.
Yeah, and then the boats, they probably cost another $2 million.
Yeah, it's all this like set. It's just like the props of the movie.
Yep. Any other thoughts? Any other questions on this one? James Yazbek worked on the post-production on this to do the 3D. He was like one of the guys who was big into doing all this 3D stuff. He did a ton of those. So he was on the editing team. And he set the 3D up for this movie. He was also post-production on Antlers.
I knew it, you son of a bitch. I knew it. I'm just telling you now. One day, my friend, you will taste ash in your mouth and will know the debt is paid.
I
Just
went on
one day.
I went on Hulu
Calm down,
yesterday,
Tyrion.
and Antlers for some reason is the banner up top trying to get me to watch. I think it was Hulu. One of them I went on,
Because they are fools.
and Antlers was right up top.
Don't do it. Don't put yourself through that again.
I won't. I watched it.
Yeah, we're good. We are good, but other people, it's a movie. You could watch worse things.
You can't.
You could watch Shark Night 3D.
I'd rather watch this.
How dare you?
How dare he watch this? Or rather watch this?
I mean, it's not that bad.
No, I'm
Exactly.
saying I would rather watch this than
It's a good
Antlers.
time.
No,
Like I
John
Oh,
said
so-
you could
yeah.
watch this instead of Antlers.
No.
Like, it's bad.
Well, joke's on him because I would.
happily, with a smile on his
I-
face, with his endless bucket of popcorn, right, and endless
Yeah.
cup of soda.
That's was the popcorn any good though?
Oh, it was real good. It was real good theater popcorn. And like what was nice is they kept making it fresh until the end of the
Okay.
up until like I think a quarter of the way through the last movie. And then if whatever leftover popcorn, they would just give out to people in big bags. And so like you always like as soon as the credits hit, I would like run out because poor college kid. I'd run out there and try to get my
It was
big
like
bag of
free
popcorn.
like free popcorn.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah. They
time?
would give say how much you want. I'll go much you'll give me, and I'd get a couple bags of popcorn. Normally, if you were nice to them, because like some people would be jerks to them, like it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, like they don't want to be here. Don't be an asshole. But if you're nice to them, lots of them go, hey, could you hit my soda cup up? Because they give you the big, large ones.
Wait, it wasn't free soda, but it was free popcorn.
No, it's free soda
Oh.
and popcorn. So
Oh.
then but like they'd give away their excess popcorn, you know. But if you were nice, you're like, hey, can you fill my soda cup up
Can
too?
you
So that way
top
I
me
had
up?
a bunch of soda for the next day. They'd be like, oh yeah, if you're nice. And then like they would do like
For the next day.
yeah.
I'm
Oh, poor
sorry.
college kid. And like so it'd be nice. So they fill up my soda thing, and then like if someone behind me was in line, they were an asshole during it. They go, oh hey, can I get my soda filled up too? And they'd be like, no.
Not you. Not
No.
today.
And so like people like they would selectively choose who they did that for, and people would always complain, but who cares?
So did you
How
take the
close was-
leftover popcorn and make bird feeders with it?
I did not.
A
You
little
know, I
peanut
don't
butter
waste.
on
them?
Nah, listen, I don't waste good theater popcorn on my corn cob bird feeders, guy.
How close was this to the good Golden Corral?
Oh no, there's no going around. I went to college in northern PA school.
Oh, okay.
There was no
so
good going crowds.
So has Mary been to one of these marathon viewings with you?
No, it was in Clarion.
I didn't go there.
Wow. Okay.
So it's obvious that we've wound down.
Yeah, we've run this movie dry, and I think
Aren't
So
you
let's
glad you
get.
stuck around?
Oh, are you talking to the audience? I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah.
I was like, who's he talking to?
I had nowhere to be, John. I don't know.
I'm well aware where you got to be. Right here.
Exactly. So we're going to jump into our Trailblaze rating system, and I'm going to let John jump off on this movie. What do you think?
I mean, once was enough, but hey, twice it's something. I mean, I guess this would be considered a brown trail.
The second time was unpleasant.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Are you saying that number 2 was painful?
It might have been a little bit, harder than normal.
Sounds like a personal problem. You should see a doctor.
Yeah,
Take some Miralax.
He said this is hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's
Eli,
hard
what
watch.
about you?
Just like the color of the water that they were swimming in. This is brown as brown can be.
It was red. Oh, the water. Never mind. Before they were like shark killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's ever red, then you do need to see a physician immediately. John, I already did John. Jamie, what do you think of this one?
I'm thinking of last week and how you pointed out like yellow versus, and like this movie very much for me is the definition of like not sticking it because of all the things we said, and not to bring it up for like a million times, but like if this was Piranha, if this was if this was like, so I think like as much as I hate this movie though, I think it's one of those like could have been something and completely missed. So that's yellow, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with yellow because like I don't like this movie. I really don't. But I've seen it like 4 times now.
You know this movie.
Some is for you guys, Mary. but like I don't know. There are things that like I loathe and wish were buried in deep in the ground, and this like just didn't stick it. Like it could have done something, and it just doesn't work. So
You could have been a contender. Is that what you're saying?
Oh my god. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed in you right now. I'm not mad.
Mary, where'd you land on this one?
Okay, so I love you guys and I respect your system very much. But for old time's sake and because I gotta do me,
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with the old system, and I gotta say, I am gonna fuck this movie. uh, because it's not
fun.
something I want to marry. But it's fun. Don't want to kill it, and yeah, I want to watch it every once in a while.
You know
This
what's
is
weird?
Mary's for a good time movie.
I would
Yeah.
also say fuck this movie, but I think we're using it in different contexts.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
See what I did there?
It took me a second. I'm just like, huh? What?
See what I did there?
Oh
You're
my
so
God.
funny.
Well, for me, this is a Green Blaze movie. Like I said, it's
Okay.
not a sober distraction. It is when I want to have a good time, when I'm in the right mindset, I want to just veg out on the couch, or to Mary's point, and absolutely, I've done it this way a couple of times. If I'm doing something stressful, or I'm having to grind through some mundane tasks at work, this is a great movie to have on because it's just dumb, and you can look over and watch a guy shake his spear at a shark with his arm missing. So yeah, this is a Green Blaze movie for me. It's a good time, and I don't ask any more from it than what it is. And that's Jamie. That's why I wanted to have that conversation with you, because obviously we both have those movies in our libraries, but we're just defining them a little differently, I think, which is interesting. I find it very intriguing. So
Well, and they're similar movies too.
Exactly.
Like,
There are some
even
that
to
are
this, I mean, too.
cross,
Like
yeah.
they're similar. Like it's just like I don't know, some hit, some don't,
yeah,
and some cross over, and some don't.
yeah. The Venn diagram of our tastes are connected,
weird.
but it's weird. They're not even circles. I think there's some odd shape. the
with
way
just piranha, right? In that little
It snakes on a plane.
exactly.
it sneaks on a plane.
So it is time for us to do our third giveaway of Camp Wicked Wild. We're going to give away another $25 coupon code for the Wicked Wild shop. And we just threw up a brand new design inspired by one of our latest campfire tales. We've got a new vintage Bigfoot design that we've put together that I'm really digging. So you might check that out if you win. What you have to do to win this week is send me an email about your favorite shark movie or your favorite 3D movie. So
Oh.
just send me
Two very different things.
send me a little message talking to me and explaining why your favorite shark movie or 3D movie is your favorite, and kind of your experience with it. Because I am curious, because there are a ton of those, and there's some, to our Venn diagram conversation, there's a ton of those that cross over. 3D shark movies, you don't get extra points, but you can shoot those emails to podcast, podcast, at thewickedwild.com. Eli, Campfire Tales, just in 3 days.
Oh yeah,
What are
and
we talking about?
it's a doozy. As everybody could probably guess, sharks aren't in lakes. So I thought we would do something else that's occurred near the water, and we're gonna be talking about the Goat Man of Pope Lick Bridge.
Those words do not belong together.
Oh,
No.
but it's such a sweet, sweet story.
Oh man.
Say it one more time. The Goat Man of Pope Lick Bridge.
The
is that-
Goat Man of Pope Lick Bridge.
Please
Pope
tell me
Lick.
this is in Texas, right?
No, not in Texas.
Dang it.
Not Texas. We're gonna take a little trip away from Texas this week.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you all have that to look forward to coming very soon. If you want to follow the Wicked Wild podcast, you can do that on Twitter at Wicked Wild We Are, or you can subscribe and follow us on YouTube. Now all of our reviews are getting jumped up on YouTube for those that prefer to consume their podcast and movie review content through that engine. You can check us out there. Subscribe and rate the show. We would love to have you rate and your reviews on what we're doing on this here podcast. You can visit us on the wickedwild.com. That's our website where you can learn more about the podcast and the crew. And we've got several different written articles and reviews. We mentioned last week we've got a new segment that Joe Ferry, who has joined our team, is now doing what he's calling Regional Cinema Road Trip, where he does these small, not small necessarily, but independent, scrappy horror movies or thriller movies that are based in a city or a region. And the region is actually part of the story. So when he writes these articles, it's as much about the area that he's writing about as it is the actual movie. It's a really cool little program or concept he's got there. If you have any questions or thoughts, any feedback on the podcast, as I mentioned earlier, you can send that via email podcast, podcast, at thewickedwild.com. I do want to thank our buddy Mary for joining us for a shark movie again tonight. So tell us what you've got going on. Who are you hanging with? What are you doing?
I'm doing nothing, but anybody can follow me at Mary What's It Scary on the socials. And thank you guys so much for having me back. It was a blast, and I've missed you guys, and I loved hanging with you again. So thank you.
Well, and I think nothing is an exaggeration. You're on with Caitlin all the time. You can find Mary. She's always posting on her social medias, the podcast she's on. We're so glad to have you back. Glad that you are still waving the shark flag. Yeah. Any shark movie's a good
Always.
shark movie. Yeah. So. And as we always say here at the Wicked Wild, our recommendation to you is that you get lost because it's the only place you can find yourself. Have a good night.